Okay, you ready? I'm only doing this once. My name is Gerry Mahoney. I'm the Fire Chief of the City of Cambridge. My name is Gerry Mahoney. I'm the Fire Chief of the City of Cambridge. I'm joined here today by some other city officials. At 8:23 this morning, the Emergency Communications Center received a 911 call reporting a partial structural collapse inside the city-owned parking garage with an address of 55 First Street. Upon arrival, fire companies discovered partial interior collapse of a stairway that was being disassembled because the stairway was being replaced. There has unfortunately been one fatality, and one other worker has been transported to an area hospital in critical condition. The general contractor is Structural Engineering Preservation. The individuals that were injured work for a subcontractor who I do not have the name of at this point in time. We are awaiting the arrival of some structural engineering folks as well as representatives of OSHA. And the scene will, we've released some of the fire companies because there's really nothing more we could do at this point in time, but we're waiting for a plan to be put in place after consultation with engineers on how we're going to proceed to render the rest of the scene safe. That's it.
Chief, was the victim under the stairwell or on top of the stairs?
The victim was working in the stairwell when it collapsed.
And how much weight are you talking about?
I'd say pretty heavy. You're talking steel risers with poured concrete on top. Probably at least a ton, if not more.
Were you guys able to remove the victim, the deceased?
Not yet. I know he had a significant chest injury and arm injury and is in critical condition.
What hospital were you at?
Transported to an area hospital.
Can you say where he was in relation to
Both were working in the stairway.
Was it just the two workers, or was there a supervisor watching them, or how do these things happen?
Just these two workers.
Do you have their ages?
I do not.
There was nobody else in the stairwell at the time?
To my knowledge, these were the only two individuals working in that particular area.
Both men?
Was this stairwell,
Both male?
Both male.
how long ago was it closed for repair, and was it, taken before that?
I'm not sure how long the job has been going on.
How difficult was the process of getting out the worker who's been transported to the hospital?
They were able to remove him pretty easily.
Okay. What floor were they working on?
Second floor.
Was he able to call 911?
I don't know who called 911.
Do you have any idea how this stuff happens?
That's why we bring in engineers and OSHA.
But I mean, something wasn't.
I'm not going to speculate as to whether something was done or was not done. That's why we bring in engineers and OSHA to kind of put the pieces back together and find out what happened.
So just to clarify, they were working on the stairwell because they were replacing.
They were removing the existing stairwell because it's going to be replaced. Okay?
How unusual a call is this for your men?
In a city like Cambridge, this is. I'll have 38 years on Saturday, and I've been to 3 or 4 of these.
Is that rare?
I do not. How long has the project been underway?
Just about
About 1 month.
So who's leading the investigation? Is it a federal investigation or a local investigation?
State Police, CPAC, in conjunction with Cambridge Police, Cambridge Fire, and OSHA, all work together to find out what happened.
And you said this is a city-owned garage?
That is correct.
Does there appear to be any criminal investigation here, or is this just an accident?
Well, I think, law enforcement, anytime there's a fatality, it technically becomes a crime scene until they determine exactly what happened.
How hard is it for you guys to respond to a scene like this?
It's something it's part of the job, but it's something you really, deep down, you really don't get used to. But that's the business we're in.
Can you talk about the rescue? I mean, how difficult was that with so much heavy concrete that you were trying to lift off? Did you have to use special tools? How did it happen?
We have capability that we have technical rescue team. We have capability, equipment, and training to affect some of this stuff, but because of the nature of this incident, we can't do anything until OSHA arrives on scene and an engineer investigates.
But the
Chief,
vic-
for the one that was injured, were you able to get to him relatively quickly, or did it take a couple minutes to get to him?
My understanding was he was removed rather quickly.
Is this garage still being used by people parking here, or was it closed for construction?
No, the garage is still in use, but the particular stairway where the work was being done has been closed. It was closed off.
Did it collapse on them, or they collapsed?
Both.
Were firefighters having trouble reaching the second victim who didn't make it? I mean, he was deceased at that point.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief.